Hannah and the Enchanted Forest. Once upon a time, at the edge of a quiet little village, lived a curious girl named Hannah. Hannah loved looking at the stars. Every night she would sit beside her bedroom window and whisper wishes to the moon. But one evening, something strange happened. A tiny golden light floated down from the sky. It danced across Hannah's window, twinkle, twinkle. Then it disappeared behind the trees of the mysterious forest. Hannah had always been told never to enter the forest after sunset, but curiosity tugged at her heart. What could that little light be, she wondered. So Hannah grabbed her small lantern and stepped quietly into the forest. The talking fox. The deeper Hannah walked, the stranger the forest became. Flowers glowed beneath her feet. Mushrooms sparkled like tiny lamps, and the trees whispered softly in the wind. Suddenly, "Excuse me?" Hannah froze. She looked around. Who said that? A little red fox stepped from behind a tree. The fox wore a tiny blue scarf. "You did," said Hannah. "Of course I did," replied the fox. "My name is Shadow." Hannah's eyes grew wide. "You can talk." Shadow smiled. "Everyone can talk in the enchanted forest. Humans just don't usually listen." Hannah laughed. "I'm looking for a golden light. I saw it fall into the forest." Shadow's ears perked up. "The star seed." "What?" "The star seed," Shadow explained. "It is a magical little seed that fell from the moon garden. If it isn't returned by midnight, the forest will lose its magic." Hannah looked at the darkening sky. "How can we return it?" Shadow pointed toward a distant mountain. "First, we must find the crystal tree." And so Hannah and Shadow began their adventure. The River of Dreams. Their first challenge was a sparkling river. There was no bridge. "How will we cross?" Hannah asked. Shadow pointed toward some glowing stones. "Step only on the stones that shine." Hannah carefully placed one foot on the first stone. It glowed brightly. Then the second. It glowed too. But when she stepped toward the third stone, it turned dark. "Oh no!" Hannah quickly jumped back. Shadow laughed. "You almost stepped on a sleeping stone." "A sleeping stone?" Suddenly, the stone let out a tiny snore. Zzz. Hannah giggled. Together they searched for the glowing stones and safely crossed the river. The Whispering Trees. Beyond the river stood hundreds of enormous trees, their branches twisted together like giant arms. As Hannah walked between them, she heard whispers. "Turn back. You will never find it. You are too small." Hannah stopped. She felt frightened. "What if they're right?" she whispered. Shadow looked at her. "Being brave doesn't mean you aren't afraid," he smiled. "It means you keep going even when you are." Hannah took a deep breath. "You're right." She lifted her lantern and continued walking. The whispers slowly disappeared, and the trees opened a path. The Crystal Tree. At last, Hannah and Shadow reached the top of the mountain. There stood the most beautiful tree Hannah had ever seen. Its branches were made of crystal, its leaves shimmered like stars, but at the very top was an empty golden nest. "The star seed belongs there," said Shadow. Hannah looked around, "But we don't have it." Then she remembered something. The golden light had disappeared near the old stone bridge. "We have to go back." They raced down the mountain. Behind the bridge, hidden beneath a leaf, Hannah discovered a tiny golden seed. It was glowing warmly in her hands. "We found it!" But suddenly the forest became completely dark. The moon disappeared behind thick clouds. Hannah couldn't see the path. Shadow looked worried. "We're out of time." Hannah held the star seed close. Then she remembered what her grandmother always told her. "When you cannot see the way, let kindness be your light." Hannah gently placed the star seed inside her lantern. Suddenly, whoosh! Golden light filled the entire forest. The flowers opened, the trees sparkled, the river shone, and thousands of tiny fairies appeared in the sky. "Follow the light," they sang. Hannah and Shadow followed the glowing trail all the way back to the crystal tree. Hannah climbed carefully up the branches and placed the star seed into the golden nest. For a moment, everything was silent. Then, boom! A shower of golden stars burst across the sky. The entire forest came alive with magic. A new friend. A tiny fairy with silver wings floated down toward Hannah. "You saved our forest," she said. Hannah smiled. "I couldn't have done it without Shadow." Shadow's tail wagged proudly. The fairy touched Hannah's lantern. "Because you showed courage, kindness, and friendship, you may visit the enchanted forest whenever the moon is full." Hannah's eyes sparkled. "Really? Really?" The next morning, Hannah awoke in her bed. For a moment, she wondered if it had all been a dream. Then she noticed something beside her pillow. A tiny blue fox-shaped button. And outside her window, a red fox wearing a blue scarf waved at her. Hannah smiled. She waved back. From that day forward, whenever the moon was full, Hannah visited the enchanted forest, and every adventure reminded her of one very important thing. You don't need to be big to do something magical. Sometimes all you need is a brave heart, a kind spirit, and a good friend beside you. The end.